Welcome back to the Bearded Hermit. In this week's video, I clean up all the snow after a storm. I attach 2x4s to the north roof line. And I finish up building the second story deck. Last week it was cold and snowy. We had a storm blow through that left about 5 inches, and it seems every morning I wake up to another inch or so. I need to keep up with all of this, or we run the risk of not getting out. Also, the spring meltdown is coming soon. If there's too much snow left on the road and driveway, when the ground frost thaws, everything turns into a muddy mess. This tractor does a good job with the rear scraper blade and front end loader. My father also has a 6-foot wide snowblower attachment, but for this year we never put it on. Putting on the snowblower means taking off the front end loader, and it's just too useful for moving snow and bringing building materials back to the A-frame. It's really nice to be able to use this rear blade in reverse. I just need to be very careful when getting close to the propane tank and generator. After I was done making noise with the tractor, the deer came back for some corn. And they just keep coming. 9 in all last count. I tried to spread the corn out as much as possible, but they still seem to find a way to fight over it. The deer are looking skinny by the end of winter now, but honestly, they're not doing so bad for this year. I've seen past years that were much colder, longer, and had more snow, and those deer looked half-starved. As the corn gets eaten, the deer slowly wander off. And then there was one. She just would not give up. And by the weekend it warmed up above freezing. So I put on my spring jacket and get to work clearing the subfloor. And the upper deck. By that evening, the rest of the snow melted away, and I got busy adding the 2x4s to the north roof line. I mark lines every 2 feet. These need to be level, straight, and just in the right place. When the roofing steel gets screwed onto these 2x4s, I plan on pre-drilling all the holes, so they will need to line up or I'll be the one screwed. Starting from the bottom allows me to stand on the floor as each row goes up. Surprisingly, they go up fast. I'm leaving one 2x4 off for now. This is where I get up and down from the subfloor, and just to make it easier on myself, I skip it. It will be added later. As always, I stagger my joints to make everything stronger. After getting a new battery, I finish up.
Well, I got all the 2x4s run horizontally on the north wall, first floor, all except one. I left this one out right here so I can get up and down from the subfloor. But all the rest are done. Sun's setting, so it's getting a little chillier tonight, so I'm going to go in, do a little more work tomorrow.
The next morning, I get started on the last section of upper deck. I mark out every 16 inches to hang my 2x6s. It's a very windy day, but warm and beautiful. It gets to about 60 degrees, so there's nothing to complain about. I cut my 2x6s about 42 inches long and pre-drill the screw holes to help me toenail the boards in. It's a funny thing to say, but working out in the sun after a long winter feels weird. Like I need to start worrying about sunburn again. Next, I cut down these 12-foot deck boards to 131 inches. I mark each board and use my speed square to cut a straight line with the saw. And of course, I can't get along without this power station. It brings power out to the build site to run all my standard electric tools and also for charging batteries. The cost of buying all new battery tools would run into the thousands. This way, I buy one power station with a solar panel, It'll run all my tools for the duration of the build, and after, it will provide power for the A-frame. I put on my trusty knee pads to save these old knees and climb up to the second story deck. Some of these deck boards are very wet and still very heavy, but they will dry out laying up here in the wind. I'm using a screw to space these deck boards out, and after they dry more, this gap will get bigger. For now, they just get one screw in each end so they don't move around. If you listen real closely, you can hear my wildly successful mating call. This is irresistible to the ladies. I just hope there aren't any Bigfoot around, or I might be running for my life.
Well, boards are in place. I've got my upper deck finished right off the loft bedroom. I'm going to have a wall right here with a door. I'll be able to wake up, walk through my door, come out here. Obviously this needs a railing to be safe, but I have to, and also build the roof up past here, but this will be my view from up here. I gotta thin out some of these trees, but there's a nice creek running through there. It's hard to see, but it's there.
When you start a big project like this, it's real easy to get discouraged. There's so much work in front of you, and there's nothing for you to look at to show your progress. But at this point of the build, I'm starting to see my vision come true. This is enough to motivate me to keep at it. This is the end of the video. As always, please stay safe out there. And remember, life can be good sometimes.